It's the Critical Hit Star Wars special!
No! So, Star Wars The Last Jedi. Thoughts, me boy?
I personally wasn't a huge fan of 7. Like, I enjoyed it as a film. I found 7 to be a very fan service heavy, repetitive rehashing of what had gone before.
I mean, that's just to jump in, but that's putting it very mildly.
Extremely mildly.
It's one of the most derivative films ever made. It is essentially a remake of New Hope.
Yeah.
I mean, the beats are all there. You have the mentor figure being killed. Spoilers if you haven't seen episode 7. What the hell are you doing watching this?
Yeah.
Starkiller Base as the new Death Star, you know, a final trench run that we need to blow it up. Like, you've seen it. You guys have seen it. You know what I'm talking about.
I mean, like, I think someone literally says, isn't this just a bigger Death Star?
The expanded universe so far has been far better than anything they've had to offer me. With all the resources that Disney have available, I find it a bit lazy that they feel like they need to go back to the same well. They go back to the Skywalker well.
Yeah, exactly.
And Rogue One, that feels like it's starting to get into that territory, but they're still They're still far
but
better
it's also
stories.
one of the most interesting versions of that story that we've seen, or filling in a gap. And so I think we both went to the Last Jedi with the same low expectations, with the same kind of like, okay, come on. How do you say his name? Rian Johnson?
Rian Johnson, yeah.
So we both went with the same expectations. We both went, you know, sort of Rian Johnson. We both came with the same expectations to this film. We both thought, Rian Johnson, like, come on. We both came to this film with the same low expectations. We were like, come on, impress us. Like, whoever you are.
Basically, Jimmy Big Bollocks.
Yeah. You know, like, you don't have to do much to impress us because you just have to do something new and different. And like, okay, you've done the kind of like romanticized, hey, here's Leia and here's your favorite old characters and Chewie and he's going to do that noise and all that stuff. And, you know, Admiral Akbar, oh no, it's a trap and all that. Like, okay, we've done that now.
Yeah.
Let's do something cool.
Yeah.
And
let's write some interesting original characters.
Yeah.
Do they exist?
Yeah.
They're the only things that don't exist in the new Star Wars movie
CG.
universe. Yeah, aren't CG.
Don't have massive orange heads and wear tiny glasses like Hans Moleman. Maybe we set ourselves up for a fall, but yeah. All right. Do you want to say it or do I want to say it?
It's not great.
I did not enjoy that film.
No. I mean, this is, you know, we're coming from like only one viewing from a few days ago, so it's still pretty fresh, but also quite raw. I mean, I'm quite guilty of being pretty hardcore and harsh on a film. For seeing it once, kind of go, well, that's worse, I'm going to have to go back to it and mellow. So I feel like I definitely need to see it again and kind of go, right, without all the expectation, without all that, just throw all that fluff away and just watching it as a film without all that stuff.
I want to start by being positive, just for a second, because I don't want to... This has been a huge like venting of the spleen so far on this video. And the first thing I want to say is, you know, from a filmmaking point of view, just from a purely technical point of view, the visual effects were fantastic.
Yeah.
The music was great.
It looks and sounds like Star Wars.
I mean, it's a beautiful, you know, visual treat, as you'd expect from a modern Star Wars film. And 7 was the same. And the planets look, you know, teeming with life and vibrant and teeming with crystal foxes.
Teeming with
and
merchandise.
Vibrant. You know, and things with big, bright Disney eyes. Things that squeak.
I didn't know there was so many fluffy things in the Star Wars universe.
But at the same time, like, they look fucking fantastic. It really, like, all of the fundamental problems with this film series so far are almost entirely down to storytelling.
Yes. I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, visually, it looked amazing. I have to say, you know, I know I'm being very negative about the overall experience, but the positive for me, when the story stops and we just get pure action, this is some of the best action I've ever seen in a Star Wars film.
This would be like probably the biggest spoiler I would leave in here. The opening like space battle
is fantastic.
It's brilliant.
It's just
I didn't want that to end.
Yeah.
Like, it was great.
At the end of the day, this is Star Wars. I want to see lightsabers, I want to see fights, I want to see explosions, I want to see schlocky. These are based on Flash Gordon serials in the 1940s. That was what George Lucas wanted to make Flash Gordon originally, couldn't get the rights, but made his own. Fun space opera. That's what this is at its core. I feel like in the sort of 30 odd years it's been in popular culture, it's been adapted in so many forms and people have taken it so many ways. This to me was just a bit of a, when the action wasn't running, it was just a bit of a miserable film to me. Everyone's really, like, Luke, I mean, this is another spoiler. Choose to leave this in if you want, but another spoiler would be.
Oh, why not?
Yeah, Luke. I mean, it's not even a spoiler; it's more character point. But I find Luke Skywalker one of the most irritating characters in this entire thing. When I saw Luke revealed at the end of Episode 7, that was such a cool moment for me. I thought, "Oh my God, Luke Skywalker's back! Here we go!" Like and again, I know I'm mentioning expanded universe every 5 minutes. I swear I'm not sponsored by the expanded universe printing companies, but Luke in those books becomes what Anakin Skywalker was supposed to be, the most powerful Jedi who's ever existed, way more powerful than Yoda, starts an entire new school of Jedi, the whole lot. He's such a cool, interesting character. I never thought I'd say this, but I miss George Lucas's hackneyed, cliched, silly dialogue, because to me that's actually what Star Wars is supposed to sound like. That's what it's kind of become to me.
But again, that sort of matches into what you were saying though, like everyone now is so dour and so like, you know, non-committal and just like...
I mean, give me one good one-liner from this film.
Use the Force. No.
The Force will be... No.
I am your sister. No.
I'm out. See? You can't do it, can you? Because there isn't any. Because this is not a well-written script. I'm sorry, Rian Johnson, but... I had a lot of faith in you. I'm a big fan of your work. I love Looper and I love even Brick and these fun little indie films. You know, they're great.
And they did characters so well.
I mean, I refuse to believe... Sorry to interrupt, but I refuse to believe that this... I mean, Rian Johnson's a good director and he's a good writer. So I refuse to believe that this is all on him.
No, I think it comes back to what you said. I think Disney and... So to some extent, J.J. Abrams have set up a story and a universe that they can't sustain, or they can't sustain in an entertaining way. And now it's just like plodding along to the final conclusion. It's painful because there's bits that started to hook me in. There's a scene which, again, without being too spoilery, like they go down to a planet and starts off well and has the equivalent of the cantina scene in it, where has the equivalent of like.
How's that sound for you, mate?
Has the equivalent like the cantina scene or something like that. Something which seems really lovable at first, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool."
Yeah.
And it's nice to see a slightly different location, but instantly, almost straight away, becomes one of the most painful scenes in the whole film.
Yeah.
And I wanted to tell.
And it doesn't end. It just does not end. It goes nowhere. There's I can't remember the point. Even I'm struggling to remember the point of it, but it's to find someone, I believe. But it's just done so ham-fistedly. Like it's just not done very well. It's like there's these nice little subtle moment. It's like bang, right, gotta get the story.
Get undermined. Yeah. So yeah, just to like summarize overall, I think neither of us are going to out and out say it's a bad movie, right? Like not in that sense. And someone who's not actually a Star Wars fan might enjoy it just on the surface as a decent action film, and it has a lot it has a lot in common with like a really good video game, which sounds really terrible, but like, you know, they go from point A to point B and they have to find the thing that unlocks the thing that helps them with the thing to win the battle.
Sometimes that's fine. You know, I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Again, that's more in keeping what I like in a Star Wars film.
Yeah.
I don't need over complexity.
It's just this underlying feeling of like, especially with like the whole thing between Rey and Luke. And there's some like almighty plot holes. I mean, like we won't even go into that here, but there's some stuff you could literally fly the Millennium Falcon.
I was gonna say you could drive a Mon Calamari cruiser through.
You could walk an AT-AT through. You could.
Basically, there's a lot of them, and they're shit.
Chris could fit through it.
Yeah, exactly. That is saying something. The size of this melon. Jesus.
I would have to chop out like a good 60 minutes of it to really enjoy it and break it down to the fundamental parts that I really liked and take out all the just nonsense and false storytelling. So,
I mean, I feel like the best parts are sitting on the cutting room floor, 100%.
Yeah, and interesting. I mean, Rian Johnson says he cut a lot out, and I'd love to see some of the stuff that did hit the cutting room floor.
But you really feel it.
Yeah, it's not in there. I'd just like to see something completely original and like with some real surprises. Yeah. And real like.
I want some stakes. I want it to feel, I want to like be, you know, I want that feeling that I feel bad I never got to experience as a kid, being just slightly too old to experience, you know, the original trilogy in the cinema. As a Star Wars film, it is incredibly disappointing. So far, it's my least. I would say it's my least liked from since the Disney acquisition of Lucasfilm. It's my least liked of those films.
That was the Critical Hitters Star Wars review. we've been the Critical Hitters.
Yeah.
And
Hey
to
guys.
infinity and beyond.
And may the Force be with you.
Which the Force?
The Apostle Force.
Star Wars. Star Wars.
This is not going to go the way you think.